Hi, welcome to the MyFestus.com conversation show, an encouraging, entertaining, and educational podcast for those who live, work, and play in the Festus, Missouri, and Jefferson County area, and for those who value communication, connection, and community wherever you live. Hi, I'm Sarah, your host, a Wisconsin girl who is learning all about living in Missouri. Join me as I share fun conversations with local people and share my own reflections on navigating so many transitions. Thank you for making listening an itty-bitty habit to create a big impact in your life. Enjoy. No. All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the MyFestus.com conversation show. We are in the podcast studio with the lovely Lindsay and the amazing Alicia. They are here representing the Ozark Food Pantry. And before we get things started, I think a lot of people listen in to fuel their mind and their soul by listening into these conversations. Today, we're going to talk a little bit about fueling our physical bodies. And I would love to know if you could have any meal of choice or your favorite food. What is your favorite food or your favorite meal?
Mexican, anything.
Okay. So you're going to a Mexican restaurant. What are you ordering? What is your drink? What is your potential appetizer meal? Tell us.
Margarita.
Okay. Salt on the rim or no rim?
Chips and salsa.
Wait, let's go back to the margarita. Salt?
I'm not a salt person.
Okay.
But I get it.
Are you doing... No, we're talking about
I get
your
all my
favorite.
salt on the chips and the salsa.
Okay. So a non-salted lime margarita, shaken or frozen, or, ice on the rocks. And then you have salty chips.
Yep.
Spicy salsa or not spicy?
Oh, spicy.
Spicy salsa.
Yes.
And then what's your entree?
Maybe a chicken quesadilla.
Okay.
Chicken fajitas.
And you like a little sour cream, little guacamole.
Bean burrito.
Bean burrito. Yeah.
On top.
And do you, yes. And do you put, are you into the Mexican desserts? Do you like a little fried ice cream or anything like that?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. All right. Good. Mexican meal. Love it. Lindsay, what's your favorite meal? What's your meal of choice?
I would say, especially for a guilty pleasure, would be a homemade macaroni and cheese. Cheesy.
Now, when you say homemade, is this something you're making, or do you like someone else's homemade macaroni and cheese?
I could make it for sure, but it's always better when somebody makes it for you.
Okay. Yes, I love it.
Yeah.
And baked.
And that's yes. Oh, yeah. So you scoop it out.
Absolutely.
Very good.
And easy.
And cheesy. From a girl who's from Wisconsin, we love cheese. Yes, yes. And so we talk about this as, like you said, like a guilty, pleasure or something that, obviously food makes us, feel good. And it's oftentimes, in my opinion, something we take for granted, right? Is
100%.
the food that we have that's in our fridge and in our home. And often we forget, or at least it's not always at the top of all of our minds, that there's a lot of people that don't have food in their homes. And there's a lot of people that are hungry. Can you talk a little bit about that and how our community might be hungry?
Absolutely, I would love to. I think that is a passion of myself and Alicia's, is just to get the awareness out to everybody. I don't know if everybody realizes what our small little pantry is pumping out every weekend, and everybody does need help at some point. So they may just be struggling at this exact moment and need a little help. And so we try to provide that safe space for them to come and pick up a variety of food. So they're getting fruits and vegetables, bread, meat, and also a bag with maybe some cereal, some canned goods. It does vary off of what is donated throughout the week. So each and every week we have a different mix of food.
So if we can just talk for a minute, the Ozark Food Pantry is a building that's located in Festus, right?
It sure is.
And it's by the Festus Police Department. Can you tell us where the Ozark Food Pantry is?
So it's in Sunset Park.
Okay.
They've been operating in this historic building that is owned by the city of Festus for nearly 30 years there.
Wow. So is that's how long the food pantry's been around, for 30 years?
Yep.
Okay.
That location was actually the original Festus Police Department at one point.
No
so there
way.
is still a jail cell in the
Ew.
basement. 2 of them.
We use it for
There's a
storage.
jail
And the
cell
toilet.
in the food pantry.
Yes. Yep.
So don't be naughty.
The
You might get
size of the building
locked away.
is a struggle. So
Okay.
it is about 1,000 square feet on the main floor, and we have the basement space.
Okay.
So all of the food donated goes to the basement to be sorted out and stored and
Okay.
stocked and watched, because we can't let the expiration dates go.
Sure.
And the all volunteer staff. So it's completely volunteer.
Okay.
501c3.
So you guys are officially a nonprofit
Non-profit.
organization,
Right.
and you have all volunteers who are making this thing work.
Happen. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
We are a family of volunteers.
Yep.
And so if you just spatially,
Yeah.
you get to the Festus Police Department,
Okay.
we're behind that in
Okay.
Sunset Park.
Okay.
Mhm.
And we do have distribution every Saturday morning. If you need, or you know somebody that is in need, please let them know that they can come through, sit in the line, and as they get closer, we just come out and check you in. So you don't have to pre-register anything. You can do that in the line that morning.
So it's once a
Saturday.
week that an individual, a family, whoever is in need of food, whether it's a season of their life, a chapter of their life, a day of
Absolutely.
their life, that they know that either themselves or their family is in need of some food.
Sure.
And
And there's
so-
sometimes people that cannot get out. They may come for a neighbor.
Okay.
So they may have a neighbor that doesn't have a vehicle or cannot drive, and they set that up and we get it approved. And you can also help out some people if you have an elderly neighbor that may need help.
And it's Saturday mornings that is the big day.
It is.
Tell us what happens on a Saturday morning for the team and the family of volunteers, as well as the people who are receiving. Like, what is this, like, walk us through what this looks like on a
So
Saturday.
It really starts probably on Wednesday. The
Well, we are-
preparations
Okay.
for the Saturday.
Okay.
I mean, there's organizations going on in the building, because after the distribution on Saturday,
Okay.
completely empty shelves,
Okay.
completely wiped down counters.
So
We
Nothing.
clean everything.
every
to end
single
it.
Saturday, you're giving it all out. Whatever you have, all the fresh produce, all
Yep.
the meats, all the dry foods, whatever you have, you're giving that away every single Saturday. So then you're restocking.
Yep.
Because about how many people typically come to the food pantry on any given Saturday on an average?
This is one thing that we are actually astonished by, because in 2024, we moved away from doing things on paper and
Okay.
manually trying to keep track. And we have iPads that we're able to use, and we're able to track data better. And while we thought we were feeding 100, maybe 115
Okay.
families a weekend, in the month of August, we served 668 families. So that
My
is
goodness.
way more than what we even anticipated ourselves just by keeping track.
668 families in the month of August.
Got it. So that is it.
Ooh.
It is for
So
my.
on average, around 200 families per week.
Mm-hmm.
Average.
Yes.
So
That's
what?
a lot.
Some of our details for how the Saturday morning goes,
Yeah.
especially. Our volunteers actually get there early in the morning before distribution starts at 8:30. We're
Okay.
there like 6:30.
Okay.
So we take whatever's been donated to us throughout the
Mhm.
week, and we pre-portion that for the amount of families we anticipate to have in that
Mhm.
morning, so that everybody is generally getting the same amount of everything.
So you're thinking, okay, we've got possibly 200 people coming in. These are all the donations we have. Here's all the meat. Here's
Yep.
all the produce. Here's all the dry stuff. And you've got people coming in, and we're just like, okay, dividing it into bags, dividing it into boxes, so that when people pull up
this
their
fun
car,
part is
let's hear how this all works.
I love being the runner
little
because
small space.
in our tiny little space, you have to be very organized. We
Okay.
keep everything specifically up off the floor, of course, but as containers are emptying, we move them out of the way. I mean, it's a small building, so we do be thoughtful. We're already like elbowing each other and whatnot, but we have all those portioned out for the different departments, and then we have shopping carts that have been donated. So the job of the runner is literally grab from each of those stations and make sure that each of those stations end up in that shopping cart.
So it's all
And
color
that's one
coded.
family.
So then the main person in charge of that system is making sure there's a blue bag, there's a brown bag, there's a yellow bag. These are why we need the plastic bags donated.
Yes.
With different colors, not just gray from Walmart. We need the white, we need yellow, blue, which they don't have right now.
I mean, we'll talk about the different needs, but as we're talking about it now, so needs are different color plastic bags,
We
like
can
grocery style bags.
gently used, and then we're repurposing them and giving them another use.
Yes. Okay, so that's one way people can donate is different color bags. So then you're putting it all together. You're putting things together, and then what, people drive up to the building on a Saturday, and then you have a
ramp.
Okay.
A little ramp, a little door, and the cart goes out.
But there is a ledge, so you have to stick your foot and pop the cart over.
And one cart at a time.
Okay.
So when one cart's coming back, the other cart, they collide.
And back down the ramp.
Okay.
The struggles are real.
So
it's
about
a small
3 or 4
little
carts going at one time. So this is a very busy, fast pace. It reminds me of a beehive.
Yeah.
We're all working in our little spot.
Yeah.
And we're moving and shaking, and it's about 2 hours nonstop.
And you know a lot about bees, which we can talk about another time.
A nonstop flow of just we're busy bees.
But if you stand outside for the person that is running those carts down to the vehicles, you can just hear all the laughing and all the camaraderie, and we have an amazing time. I mean, 2 hours that we're actually getting going and all of that, it just goes so fast, and it's amazing.
You guys are having a good time.
Yes.
The volunteers are having a good time.
Up, talking.
And Carmelita's always cooking lunch.
Yes.
That's amazing.
Something for the volunteers. So
That's amazing.
we're taking care of just as much as the people.
So you're being fueled as well as you're fueling those folks. And so the folks that are coming in, they hopefully are going to get enough food for a week,
2
right?
weeks.
Oh, for 2 weeks of time. Okay.
So our only real stipulation is that we allow people to come every other week.
Okay.
So if there again, you're checking in and it's in the system and whatnot, once you get in that line that happens, we have volunteers that get ahead of that with iPads and check people in. So when they get to the point of food, we know how big. So if their family has over 6 people, we give them a bigger portion.
Gotcha.
Sometimes they'll come with 3 families in one vehicle.
Right.
Or there's a large family with foster children or something like that.
And then we also have people that will say, do you guys have a birthday cake? And that gives me goosebumps because I have a lot of passions in this world, but I just feel like every child should get a birthday cake.
Yes. Do you get donations for birthday cake?
Yes.
We do.
You do?
Yeah.
Okay.
Usually like Schnucks.
Yep.
So some of our surrounding, we love the support from our local businesses that have the collection boxes.
Yes.
But we also have like Schnucks and Dollar General that will give us overflow, and they give us items weekly.
And restaurants can do that for you too?
We do.
Yep.
We have a couple.
KFC, McDonald's.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Starbucks.
Excellent. Excellent.
So I honestly feel like we start on Monday all over again.
Yeah.
We have, and that is a big need for us, is we are currently looking for maybe somebody that's retired and just needs a small time commitment to run and take our van, but run to pick up a load of food.
So you need drivers.
Thursday.
So if somebody was like, you know what, I could be a driver.
Absolutely.
What would that entail, like in terms of how much time are they looking, as far as like if they had to make a commitment, and like what radius or location would they be driving in? Can you tell us a little bit about
So, like,
that
a
driver
maybe
position?
9 to 11.
Oh, so like 2 hours?
We have a need on Thursdays to drive to St. Louis.
Okay.
So that
50 miles is the furthest that we would need.
Okay.
We would need them to be able to lift
And lift.
When they go to pick up the food, there's usually help. But if there's not, we need the driver to be able to help
lift the food. So what are we talking, like 25 pounds, something like that, max?
25 to 50 pounds.
25 to 50 pounds that they would make maybe a 2 to 3 hour commitment, depending on their schedule or something, that they would be able to help out with that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Valid driver's
license. So drivers would go around, pick up the food, and then come back to the pantry to unload.
And we have volunteers there to help unload.
That's what and so are you looking potentially for volunteers at any point of the week, or you have certain hours that if somebody had the time and energy in their schedule to coordinate, to, organize, to pack, unpack, those are all helpful things that people could do?
Absolutely. Yeah. And honestly, if you could say this every Tuesday, I want to take on this route, and you know where it is, you know the routine, and you get it done in an hour, I mean, that you can make it shorter as far as a time commitment goes.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome.
We do have further away locations, but like the KFC, McDonald's, and Festus, the Schnucks are in Festus.
Yes.
They go to Arnold too.
So then you have a need for people to help with driving. You have a need for people to help at the food pantry to kind of get things organized. You guys work throughout the week so that you're all set up for Saturday. And then you have a need for kind of like, having the fun with the runners and the carts and, things like that. So that's actual, time and energy that people could volunteer. Do they have to make a certain kind of commitment, or could they contact the food pantry and say like, I'm available for, the month of February for a few hours. Yep. Do you need me? Can people inquire like
absolutely.
That? And then you can potentially, it's not like they have to make a year-long commitment or something. It just depends on what they have going on.
Definitely calling ahead, because we do have a regular group of volunteers, but there is always the time where they need a break.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
But calling ahead, then that way we know what our schedule looks like.
So if they're going to call, or is it better to do email or electronic or technology, like website communication?
I think Facebook. Okay. Just send us a message on Facebook, and we both monitor that. So we're able to, we have nurses. Mercy Hospital actually gives nurses 8 hours of paid time for volunteering.
I bet a lot of organizations probably have that. They don't even think about that. They could get paid to give back
volunteer hours. Absolutely.
Yep. So Facebook, Ozark Food Pantry, they can find you. Mm-hmm. What about a website or a phone number?
We do have a phone number. I don't know it by heart.
Well, if you go to the website, it would be ozarkfoodpantry.org. For if people want to know more information. So that's, sorry.
I was going to say, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but on the Facebook page, I know specifically we have a pinned sign that shows the hours if you wanted to donate food.
And this,
you could get those details all from our Facebook page.
And so obviously people can help out by volunteering their time and energy, and or donate to actual food. I mean, we were talking about that we take it for granted, but I mean, it sounds like you guys have perishable items and non-perishable items, because again, it's every Saturday you're getting it all out, giving it to the people, and then you're restocking. So people can donate meats, people can donate dairy. Tell us what they can all donate, and or is there a specific need that you seem to always want or need?
If they're bringing perishable items, mornings, Monday through Saturday, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m.
Okay.
Never leave anything there on the step.
There are a group of ladies that are there during the week from 8 to 11.
Yeah.
So they can take it from you.
Okay.
I think a big need for us is cereal.
Cereal.
Cereal is
a staple that can be eaten any time of the day. Yeah. Not just breakfast.
Okay.
So it's definitely something that our shelves are empty right
Cereal.
now.
Okay. So cereal.
Canned goods, one thing to note on that is to keep in mind, we'll take anything, obviously, but to keep in mind, if you get a box of maybe the same corn or something like that helps us to divvy it up so everybody gets one.
Sure.
Rather than 3.
Yes.
Yep. They like to
Exactly.
give peanut butter once a month,
Yes.
ketchup once a month. And
Okay.
it's just when we have numbers like 668,
Yeah.
Per
that's
month.
a big need
Yes.
on
So
something like peanut butter.
cereal, peanut
Yeah.
butter, ketchup, any
Oh,
kind of
absolutely.
non-perishable items. And then, like you said, if it is perishable, just watch when you're donating or
Yeah.
be mindful of that time frame.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You guys are doing an amazing thing in our community. I can't even imagine the amount of people who are being fueled and nourished. As we kind of wrap up and talk about this idea of community and particularly how it relates to fueling and feeding the people in our area, how do you define community? What does community mean to you?
I was going to say, I'll let Alicia answer first.
I mean, community is just supporting the area that you live, you work in, joining those that are in need and supporting each other and helping each other grow together.
I would agree. I agree with all of that. I feel like if we do small steps a little at a time, we can make a big difference. And
Yes.
living here, we work here, we make friends and support each other. We hang out in our community. So I don't want the food pantry to ever just be forgotten about because there is that need. And I feel so passionately that, I just don't love the idea of anybody going hungry.
Yeah. And
It's
our
our job to
big
feed.
mission, Lindsay and I both, for the last 2 years, I guess, going on 3 years with working with them and on their board, is really raising awareness.
Yes.
Because so many people didn't realize that there was something like this in the community. And they also don't realize how many people are in need.
The actual need of how many people are hungry.
Yes.
Are hungry. And how, again, these itty bitty hours of time and energy to volunteer, the itty bitty donations, all of those itty bitty things can make a big impact to feed someone.
It's a simple concept, but it is such a large effort.
Yes.
And it honestly, for me, and I do believe Alicia feels this way too, we see the volunteers that have been running this pantry are getting older. So if somebody doesn't honestly step up to take this on, then I just don't want to see the legacy die.
Yeah.
And then keeps me awake at night as who is going to feed these people if we aren't there to do it.
So and we could do so much more
Mm-hmm.
with a larger location.
Okay.
So that is, so when we talk about needs and everybody has needs, and we're seeing that is the biggest need for the Ozark Food Pantry right now is finding a new home.
Okay. A larger space to be able to
one level,
operate.
No basement.
To be able to operate and to
then we could take in more.
Yes.
We could.
It's really hard when the food pantry has to turn something away because the space.
That makes sense. Absolutely.
And we have every inch of that building is being used for a purpose. And like I had said, we're very organized so that we know exactly where things are at because we have to. It's almost like being in a camper or something where you're confined space. So you need to have everything organized.
Sure.
There could be a greater effort on getting more for our community in Festus if we had more storage space
and a variety of food. We do keep some like gluten-free items in a space just for somebody if they ask.
Okay.
And we would love to do other thoughtful things like that if we could actually get a building that would hold it.
Good to know. So if someone maybe is unable to volunteer, unable to donate, a free thing that they could do if they're watching or listening in is to share this, right? To spread the word. As you said, Alicia, it's all about awareness, visibility, education for the need for people to be fed and for people to not be hungry, as well as, just to be aware that there is an operation and an organization that is in place that's been around for 30 years that wants to keep, doing this for our community.
And I
So
don't
people
want anybody
can
to...
hear this, they can spread the word, they can get information out.
100%. I just don't want anybody to feel ashamed or embarrassed or like I don't want to go because now everybody will know that I need help. Everybody needs help at some point.
Absolutely.
So please don't ever feel like you're not the right fit. Everybody is welcome. We don't turn anybody away. And our job is just to feed people. We don't make judgments.
Don't ask any questions.
I love it. Fantastic. Well, thank you both for taking time out of your busy schedules. You both are working women, working professionals, and you do this as a passion project on the side. This is a volunteer position for each of you. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. And I know I'm thanking you on behalf of so many people in our community for taking the time out and for doing all that you're doing to feed the people in our community.
I know. I will say it is my pleasure to serve.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. Well, thank you. And thank you for tuning in and being able to spread the word and the message about the Ozark Food Pantry. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to listen to this myfestus.com conversation. I hope that you have found some itty-bitty inspiring takeaways to make a big impact in your life. To create an even bigger impact in your life, check out my website, myfestus.com, to explore all the positive people and places you can experience around here, as well as learn about encouraging ways to navigate your own life transitions, no matter where you live. I also send out fun, encouraging emails so you can learn about all the new things and score a must-have deal of the week to save you some money as you support our local businesses. Just click on the subscribe button on the myfestus.com website to sign up. Thank you for making listening an itty-bitty habit to create a big impact in your life.